Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts, like the chart behind me, which is of Rivian Automotive, ticker symbol RIVN. And so here I am recording this on the evening of March 7th. And on the day, Rivian went up more than 13% during market hours, closing at a price of $12.51, being up just over 3% in the after hours. And I have to say that closing at this price is pretty key. And I am hoping that on Friday, March 8th, we can get a second close above a key level that would suggest further upside and potentially filling this gap, going up to a price of right around $15.18. So hopefully that can be happening over the next couple weeks. And I just did want to go over some levels that do stand out to me that could be acting as resistance on our way up, potentially as support as well. And so those levels are really marked here by these colored lines. One of those being this orange one, which is right around current price at a level of $12.58, corresponding with the low that was hit on March 20th of 2023. And also from that low, I do have this red uptrending level, also having the pivot point here on June 27th, the low there, and that did look like it was acting as support as Rivian was forming this bear flag, which then broke to the downside, gapping down. And so I do think that red line is another key level to be considering. And then also based on that low from June 27th, there is this purple line here at a price of $13.30. So I do think those are two key levels to be paying attention to. But I do also want to note these yellow and green lines just below. Current price is above them, but it is quite possible we could be falling back to test them as support. And so that yellow line is right at $12 a share, and the green line is at $11.68. So hopefully we don't pull back to them, but it is quite possible that will happen. And I do want to point out that the last time I put out a video was on February 29th when we had this nice little red candle here at the top of this kind of, or the middle of this W here. And that did bump into resistance right around that green level 1168. So I do think that is pretty interesting. And then also when we did gap down, the open for that day on February 22nd was right around $12, actually being at $11.98, so just below that yellow level. So I do think that's pretty interesting. And so we did previously hit a lowest low for the stock at a price of $10.05. I do think that was a great dip buying opportunity as we did retrace a little bit following the 29th, but the lowest that we got following that little peak there was on March 4th, hitting a low of $10.55. So that does seem like it was a pretty good dip buying opportunity now that we are above $12.50. And I do want to note that in last week's video, I did point out the high that was hit on February 22nd, being at a price of $12.25. And so I had mentioned in last week's video that it would be key for us to be getting two closes above that level, which would indicate confirmation of a breakout and that we could be moving higher. And so we did get one close on Thursday, March 7th, above that level at a price of $12.51. So I do think Friday's close will be pretty key in suggesting that we've gotten a breakout if we do get confirmation of that closing above 1225. So I do think that is a level to be keeping an eye on, but I do think it would be really good if we could get a close above 1258. However, speaking about closes on Friday, I should point out that the max pain for Rivian for tomorrow, March 8th, is $11 a share, which does suggest that price could be pulling back towards that level. However, if price does continue to rally and perhaps we get a close above the purple line at 1330, that could perhaps trigger a gamma squeeze that could send the stock price much higher, potentially to filling this gap right around $15.18. So I do think that would be really good. That does also, I should note, correspond with the previous low that was hit here at a price of $15.12 before we got this nice run up. So I do think that is another level to be considering, $15.12. And also, I do want to point out from this retracement coming from the top here, based on the peak that was hit on December 26th, and then coming down to the low here from February 26th, we do have the, let's see, 236 level at a price of $13.49, closely corresponding with that purple level. So I do think closing above $13.50 will be pretty key and suggesting that the stock price could be going much higher. But I do think that with the momentum that we currently have, if we can get a close on Friday above $12.25 and definitely above $12.58, I do think we could definitely be tackling $13.50, if not getting back into the 15s in no time, and perhaps moving higher to test this uptrend here. That would be at a price of right around $16.80 or $17, corresponding with the 50% level from this retracement right around $17.34. So I do think those are all levels that we could be hitting in the next few weeks, especially if we get a strong close above $11 on March 8th. So I do think that is something to be looking for, especially if that close is above $12.25. Even if we get a little bit of a pullback into next week, that close above $12.25 will suggest that the stock price is moving higher, and I do think that this gap will be filled, especially now that they've released the spectacular looking R3. But, those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot for watching.